States, right?
No,
No. Oh, man.
we here to talk with you.
Okay.
And we can close this door if you want to, but if you get too hot, you might want it back open.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have the air on.
Yeah, we're fine, and it will get hot. It can get hot in here, and we'll crack the door.
You want to close it then?
Yeah, close it till then, and
All right, that'd be fine.
they're real good. The lieutenant's there, he's fine. Then another one, my name is Gary Hilton.
Gary Hilton, I'm Gary Smith. I'm a captain with the sheriff's office in Pickens, South Carolina.
You're a captain.
Yes, sir, I am.
And you're Gary?
Dewey.
Oh, Dewey.
Dan Greyhouse, I'm the chief of police in Thomaston, Georgia.
Hey, great, man. Dewey is that. Well, I didn't think y'all looked like attorneys. No, we're not attorneys. I thought these guys are just too tough, man. You know, attorneys are a bunch of pussies. Half of them are homosexuals. I thought these guys, you got a luck on you that you could be in Hollywood, I'll tell you. I mean, you know, as the sheriff.
They need to send me the money.
They make you wear a pair of cowboys.
Well, you know.
That's what she will love you.
Hey, what'd you get?
Say, what's that guy, Gary, Mike, or Mr.?
My name is Gary.
Gary?
My trade name in the siding business is Mack, the siding guy. You might have heard of that. That's a nom de sales, a sales name. Because I thought Gary doesn't sound like your typical siding guy, you know. But it's Gary.
Not good.
Gary's just too artsy-fartsy, though, for, you know, a craft like siding.
Hey, you know what day it is?
It's, yeah, what you got?
Yeah. I got something to talk to you about.
Today is Friday, isn't it?
No.
I mean, you know.
Today's the
17th.
The 17th of
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. It's not because it's just because the days fly by and no one messes with me here. They treat me real good.
Probably a little after 2 p.m.
It is. It's right at 2.
Oh, okay. I found out how to use this recorder I'm recording, okay?
I assume and when I'm talking to the police, I assume that.
Yeah, and I assume it's picking up. Well, what I'm interested in is some of your travels 10 years ago. Let me tell you what I got, or I'm not going to tell you everything I got. I'm going to tell you why I'm here and what I want to know. I have a family, they're out of Pennsylvania, and they're grieving and have been grieving for the last 10 years over a child of theirs that was a university student that went missing.
Where do you go missing?
Are you familiar with Clemson, South Carolina?
No, but
What are you familiar with in South Carolina? Let me ask you that.
nothing. It's all I've done is transited South Carolina on the way to North Carolina, and I've been to North Carolina, of course. Since I'm an outdoor full-bore hiking stud, you know, over 20 years, I've been to North Carolina. Yeah.
Well, North Carolina and South Carolina, you know, we border in the area of Oconee County,
Yeah.
where Clayton, Georgia is.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you come right into Clayton, Georgia, on 76,
Okay.
you'll be in the
Where did he go missing?
Table Rock.
Okay.
Table Rock State Park.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that case, and it certainly does, at first glance, just on the surface, similarities fit my MO. Okay, but we can go, I'll be glad to talk to you all you want. I get bored sitting up there, but about that thing. But I'm going to tell you right now when I said to Florida.
Yes.
Put this over here.
I am. It's a duty.
Yeah, because
Put it right here.
Because I would love nothing else but to clear up not only things that I have been involved in for the family. So, of course, I'm more than happy to clear up things that I wasn't involved in also. I've already offered Florida full and complete cooperation in the manner that I gave the Georgia GBI. And I'm sure you've seen my debriefing tapes. I've heard and seen them. You've seen the 2-hour long one, which was my initial narrative of the crime itself. And I'm sure you've seen the videotape of the debriefing done in the Dawson County Jail post-sentencing, the two agents that had worked that case came to see me. I'd already been sentenced for this. They brought me 2 cups of coffee, and I talked them. I gave them 4 hours. I talked them out of there finally. They finally said, "Oh, yeah, it's 6 o'clock. You're going to miss dinner. We got to go," you know. And so the point I'm trying to make is that anyone viewing and listening to those tapes would immediately recognize that I gave them every detail in just a candid, straightforward way. I have remorse for what I've done, but once you get past the initial embarrassment of talking about it, which was only right at first, it just became a professional recitation. The newspaper and the news media said that I was chillingly calm. They called it, a TV commentator called it the banality of evil. Vernon Keenan, the director of the GBI, stood on TV. I saw him on Channel 5, said, "This man is a despicable human being." And amazingly enough, none of them recognized what I was doing. And that is, I was speaking in the language and affect or manner of a police officer. Of a police officer giving a report of an incident to his superiors. In other words, I was talking like a cop to a cop. And I told them every detail in the world. As you saw, I was very frank. I told them they built out with my ass. I produced an ice, lost control of it, produced a baton, lost control of it. You know, I told them every detail in the world that I didn't even have to tell them. The point of this story is that I offered them to do. Florida came up to see me, 2 detectives, Leon County, and I offered them the same kind of cooperation in anything that I could give to them for an immunity deal. And I didn't offer life because I've got life. And I didn't offer a plea. I thought maybe strategically, tactically, you know. So the only higher sentence I could get is death anyway. So, and I offered that if they would just simply leave me alone and let me do life. And I've offered that in Florida already. So anyway, to wrap this story up, since I would be happy with the deal to clear up anything that I might could clear up, I'll also be glad to clear up anything that I can't clear up. And that is, I'm going to tell you, and I've told everyone this, I told the board of this too, that when they were up here, I said, "I'll give you something for free right now." And right, I said nothing before September of last year. Actually, I think in October last year. Nothing before, but here's my words, nothing before September of last year. Gentlemen, this is the truth. You know, you can believe it or not, but this is the truth. Nothing, my activity started September of last year. There is nothing before September of last year. Let me finish up.
Yeah.
In '95, I pled to 2 felonies and pulled 2 concurrent 5-year probations. Concurrent. I violated no laws from '95 until my activity, my rampage started. None, with the exception of marijuana usage, failure to file taxes, and a park after dark citation. I didn't even violate traffic laws. I got no traffic tickets. That's the truth. And I'll tell you as many times as you want to convince you. For the families. I mean, for the families that are hurting because of me, and for the families that are hurting because of something else. If this is one more load or possibility off their back, I'm going to tell you right now, they can rest easy. I violated no laws from '95 through September of last year. Nothing. Not even, I didn't get a traffic ticket. That's the story.
Let me, I wasn't going to interrupt you. Let me just tell you, you know how police officers work, and you know what that means to some.
What is that, waiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't sign any waiver.
Okay, but I'm not going to...
Oh, I understand my rights. I understand that I have the right to remain silent, that I could have an attorney here. Actually, my Florida attorney said, put a notice in my file that I'm not to see any mailboxes or anything else. But on the other hand, the GBI made a deal, or not the GBI, but the Florida, Georgia authorities made a deal with me, that penalty off the table, give us her body. And I appreciated that, especially since Dawson County did want to kill me big time. They really wanted to just disregard that agreement. They ended up sticking by, and I thought, well, plus I like my GBI handlers, there were two, Cliff Bridges and another younger guy. Bergina and GBI John Tabor, though. Cable said that I was absolutely evil, and I was really disappointed. That kind of emotionalism and inflammatory statements has no business being in the lexicon of a professional police officer. A police officer, especially an experienced one like these two gentlemen, should know the duality of human nature, and they should know that evil lurks in everybody's heart. There's no one that's all good, and there's maybe no one that's all bad. There may be some exceptions in that, but certainly not with me. And for them to make such flagrantly broad, emotional, Cable admitted over senior GBI, that man's about to retire, John Tabor. He's about to retire from GBI. He's going to be head of Dawson Investigative Unit, okay? And for a police officer with a full career behind him, and he admitted it, became emotionally involved, and it becomes that emotional, is unforgivable. And I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, emotional involvement is the number one reason that police officers end their career prematurely. They get about 5 years into it, and they start realizing everybody's got an asshole, and it just tears them up. Or, you know, everybody's got an asshole, all you got to do is look for it. They see the bad, they get torn up, they end their career. So that's why any uniformed officer could have told those gentlemen that to that degree of emotional involvement is a professional mistake. Anyway, I'm just
I got quite a few years. You and I are probably the same age. I'm 59 years old.
I'm 61. I got a couple of them.
You got a couple of them. You're a military man too, right?
Yeah, everyone. 60s. I did go to NAM, but did you go to NAM?
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I was military police in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can take you back. I think I know as much about your record as you, because I've been studying it since this came about. I'm going to tell you why. But in 1998, you remember where you were in 1998?
Yeah. But, you know,
let's try somewhere around Easter time in 1998.
Okay, the newspaper has done such a happy job. I'm constantly referred to as a drifter, okay? Anyone that did the smallest amount of checking, like looking at my DMV records, would see that I lived in the same residence for 9 years, and I worked for the same employer for 10 years. I worked for John Tabor Insulated Wall System from 97 to 07. I lived on his property from 98 to 07.
You're telling me the truth, because I've already checked that.
Yeah. And they never fail to call me a drifter. And instead of saying I'm thin, they say I'm scraggly. They cut me. They say in my confession, you know, they had that release from the TV spin, and they say, in spite of myself, I admitted that the girl almost got the best of me. I didn't do anything in spite of myself. I told them. It's just like a cop. He nearly got his ass whipped, and he'd tell his sergeant, hey, you know, not every fight goes right. You can't win them all. Yes, sir.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you, this young man, he went missing. He was a military.
Okay, Easter of 98.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was a military guy, too.
Oh, this was a break in employment from John Tabor. That's right. I had 2 breaks in employment. One was early 98, and the other was 2007. Each time first time was about 4 months. I got this, and John Tabor got this, sell his way out of a paper bag, so I get this. Plus, I found this. Anyway, and also in 2000. And this is going to sound like, you know, a typical non-alibi. But in April, I can place my whereabouts because of that big tornado that came through Dunwoody, Georgia, in Atlanta, in about April the 12th. I don't know what April would have been. But the point is, I was homeless. I I've been living in the Shuregard Storage, and I got thrown out of there for the second and final time. When I,
98.
yeah, I got thrown out of there. No, that wasn't the final time. Yeah, it was. I've been thrown out of there for the final time. No, but you're not supposed to live in storage. I got away with it from 1990, early 90 to late 97. I lived in a storage unit.
Now, when you were thrown out, though, did you go camping then, or what?
No, I was employed, and I'll tell you where I was employed. Unfortunately, again, the company it's Americas Home Remodelers, and it was at Windy Hill.
What does it mean? American Home?
Americas, what was that? Americas Home Remodelers. It was in the office park.
Where are they located?
They no longer are. Like many companies in the siding business, the whole environment.
Who was the owner, yeah?
No, but the supervisor was a woman that's well known in the business. Her name was J.C. Hudson.
J.C.?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's initials or what, but it's
Okay,
J.C. Hudson. She's well known in the siding business.
she's still working? She's still around the Georgia area?
I haven't heard of her in 10 years. At any rate, so I didn't have my storage unit to live in. I would keep a 10 by 30 unit, and it would virtually be a living room in there. And I just went through a series of managers and even a change of ownership, and got away with it. I almost started to write a book like Alex Haley wrote, Airport and Hotel. Well, I was going to write one called Storage. It was weird. We had a little subculture there. Several of us.
Well, look at you, while you were homeless and living in that storage unit at the time, I assume you're a man that's going to keep a vehicle. Did you have?
Yeah, sure. And all the vehicles, the GVI on that 4-hour debriefing in Dawson County.
Right off the top of your head, you remember?
Yeah, I can tell you exactly, because I only owned about 3 cars in my life, okay? And that was the black 1989 Mazda B2200 pickup truck, black with maroon gray pinstripe and a gray camper shell top. It was a Lear brand, L-E-E-R, Lear Macho brand model, gray fiberglass camper top. It was more or less along the roof line. It wasn't built up.
You got a very good memory.
I haven't had that many vehicles, and I drove that truck for 200,000 miles. I got it for 7 miles, and I broke 200,000. I owned that from June of '89, and I drove that until September of 2000.
You got it in '89?
June of '89. I got it new at Jim Ellis Mazda, Car Parkway. Bought it new.
You got a lot of service out of it.
Oh yeah, I would have gotten more if I would gotten a lot of repairs done on it.
Let me tell you again, I'm here on behalf of the family.
I want you to show that family that I'm sorry on the one hand, but I'm happy on the other. I'm happy that I can clear up one avenue. I'm sorry that I can't.
Well, you know everybody wants closure, and you understand that.
I understand.
What I want to show you now, if you don't mind,
I will look at it.
if you'll, this is a picture of the young, he's a Clemson, he was
Yeah.
Clemson, that's a picture.
Yeah, I've seen this type of face a million times with the smuggles.
I don't want you to read it. I don't want to put anything in your mind.
Oh, no. This is almost a generic young yuppie face. We're living in a virtual la-la world. We don't know. I quit so much ass on these guys over dogs. Man, I ran male dogs for 20 years, and it always went down like the loose male dog. Yo, I'm afraid of your dog. Don't let it confront me. Oh, it's okay, he's friendly. I said, hey, I don't want to meet your dog, keep him away from me. Hey, what do you mean? You got a bad attitude. I said, hey, I'm going to touch that dog, come over here, I'm going to whip his head. And the next thing you know, they're always bigger than me. They're always going to be bigger than you. I have one of these guys come up like that, the next thing you know, he'd be running for his life. I'm sorry, I should slam the guy, I don't know.
I want to ask you a question. Now, anything that you think might incriminate you on any other case, don't answer.
I understand.
But what I'm going to ask you now is that you're into camping and hiking,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing. Now, I'm going to show you a picture, and this is actually it's a South Carolina highway map.
Yeah.
I want you to take a look at that picture on the front of it right there.
Yeah.
See if you can tell me, do you know where that's at?
Yeah, that's just north, is it south here? It is, trying to remember the mountain's actual name. This is actually, the geologic term for this is a pluton, believe it or not. It's in the same class as Stone Mountain. It's a huge mass of granite that's been formed well underground that has been forced and eroded up. It's a pluton. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is probably the Chattooga River, the upper Chattooga River right here.
Well,
That it flows right, and this would be Whitesides Mountain. There's a number of these plutons around.
yes. All right. Well, let me ask you this then. Are you familiar with the new highway that you have connecting at the border of South Carolina and Georgia called Highway 11? Are you familiar?
Yes, I took that highway in September of last year.
Where did you go?
Went up to Pickens. They already know I'm in.
No, I don't understand
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean, I was in, it's already known.
I'm trying to figure it out.
People took pictures of me up there that were just unknown to me, that I did show. Oh, really?
How many times do you think you've been on Highway 11?
Oh, on Highway 11? Oh, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a number, I can show you.
What hiking trails, I ask you, what hiking trails do you
The typical reason to be going up there would be basically to go to the vicinity that is in the Asheville area, either to the the west of, which would be Pickens, and the next forest over, which is, then Nakahala National Forest begins then.
Well, let's not go that far right now. Let's see.
Yeah, in other words, if I was going to go hiking to Shining Rock Wilderness, to Middle Pond Wilderness,
That's the right you would have.
you give me a blank look. Don't you know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah, but you're talking about Millbury Smart Way.
Yeah, I would go from Atlanta to Highway 11. Highway 11 is also known as Foothills Parkway.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stop
And I would take that to the north-south road. That would end up being the old wagon road that's across and I think it's 176, but I don't know the numbers. And Shining Rock would be 10, 15, when that cut the Blue Ridge Parkway, Shining Rock would be about 10 to 15 miles west of it, west of it. That's the way I could go. Or I could go up to 64, 441 in Georgia, up through Clayton, and up to 64 Highlands, and then across 64. This is just another way of going to 64, which is on the south side of the yeah.
All right, let me ask you, did you ever hike on Stump House now?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right, that's an old company come out of Georgia, Stump House.
Oh, that's in South Carolina?
Yes.
No, I haven't done any hiking in South Carolina except on the South Carolina side of the Chattooga Wild and Scenic River corridor.
Well, let me ask you this then. Are you familiar with what we call the Lake Geographical?
I've heard the name, but that's all. And again, I'm not even sure I've heard the name. It's one of these generic.
What about the lake called Cuba?
I may have heard the name.
Do you remember going down Highway 11 and you cross this beautiful stretch of water?
Well, yeah, there's a big stretch of water that's roughly at the Georgia-South Carolina line.
That's Hartwell, we coming on up.
Okay, no.
The route you were saying was 176 maybe, or 276, which one do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's, 78, 76, something like that. You can't miss it. This one goes through, so north, it's Brevard.
Yes.
It's
276, okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I would use this route if I spelled like it. There's almost an infinite number of routes if you're not in a hurry. And I would use this route to go to that intersection in Brevard, basically. And to go to hiking trail.
Yeah, what did you say, what did you call it again?
Whiteside Mountain.
Whiteside Mountain.
That's what I'm saying it is, and I'm saying that's actually the upper Chattooga River. But that might place it in North Carolina, I don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
I call it a blue
I'm
tunnel.
gonna go ahead and tell you where this is at.
Yeah.
And maybe see if Bill will see if Bill. This is the Table Rock.
Table Rock. There's the Table Rock I know is Linville Gorge. No. Table. You know Linville Gorge in North Carolina, they have always Hawksbill Mountain, Table Rock Mountain, and I gotta tell you, there's probably a dozen Table Rock Mountains.
Well, let me ask you this, then. Did you ever frequent the state parks or the local parks?
No, local I do because I've been in local parks all over because of the dog, you see. I've always run dogs.
Did you go?
But state parks I don't go because there's a fee almost in every month.
Did you go in where you had to pay a fee?
No, that's why I don't go into state parks because I don't pay the fee.
All right, if you put your glasses back on and let me.
Sure. Grab me my pen and you'll have a pen and I'll have a pen.
Okay.
I'm not gonna write on it, but I'll use it as a
Yeah,
point.
well, let's put it right here.
No, so I can point.
Well, I'm gonna lay it.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do here is
Yeah.
I'm gonna try, and I didn't bring the glasses in, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the best I can. To see if I can get close to where you think you know you're at. This is I-85 from Atlanta.
Yeah, right.
Now, this is South Carolina map. It's got a very
I understand.
short part of it.
Well, typically,
That's Gainesville right there.
yeah, that's right. Typically, the way I would go from Atlanta, which is here.
From where you live there.
Yeah, Atlanta, it's all in Atlanta. And so typically, I
Well,
would,
now, you said Atlanta, but it's a suburb of Atlanta, right?
Metro Atlanta area. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's shambling across. I'd go up here to the Lake Russell WMA, Wildlife Management Area. It's a big area. It's right here, okay? And, no, you're not. And it's not shown on this map. They got no detail at all. They don't even have the towns. The towns would be Cornelia and Baldwin would be right there.
Right there.
Yeah, and it's, of course, right to Coa.
Oh, right here.
And, right, exactly. And so I would camp there, because I'm old. You always get a late start.
Camp in the, what do you call it?
Lake Russell WMA.
We got a real Lake Russell way down here.
Like I say, these things, how many Possum Creeks are there?
Lake Russell.
WMA.
WMA?
Yeah, I love that place. It's got all that. Huh? Yeah. Okay, and so typically, you say, I'm gonna get going at 9 in the morning, and then at 2 in the afternoon, you're like getting frantic. Yeah. So, I just go there and camp. And then I take this on around through Coa.
Yeah, right here to go.
Yeah, and go across, and then take this up here to 276.
Okay, somewhere right along here, I think about 2 years ago, a deputy stopped, you talked to him, because I read the story.
I have no idea, but
He checked you at the Chattooga River there.
about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell you.
Do you remember that?
No. I've had, in 20 years, I've had the police called on me because of dog incidents 30 times or more.
Well, I think
I'm going to tell you, in the last year, before I was arrested, I probably had Let me preface this by saying in Georgia, the quickest way to meet a law enforcement officer is to enter WMA. It is. They'll be field interrogating you within 6 days. I don't care where you're camped. And I have been field interrogated. Let me put it this way. You saw a videotape of Cherokee County Sheriff's Department's doing a field interrogation on me. I've been field interrogated 2 times in 24 hours, just in 12 hours.
Okay.
I was stopped because I was stopped the night before because I broke the solid yellow line. I was messing with a dog, and it was a DUI. They thought they had a DUI in their hand. And they stopped me and let me go when they saw I wasn't drunk. And then at 9 in the next morning, Cherokee County Sheriff's Department was there field interrogating. So that was 2 within 12 hours.
Yeah, I understand that.
And when you're in WMAs, that's the quickest way to meet a law enforcement officer. So that's why I don't remember it.
I think this was probably at the river line there, at the river.
Man,
let's go
that
ahead.
was 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
If you tell me the circumstances, I might
Well, I wasn't there, so I can't tell you what.
I know.
Let me, all right, we're
That's the way I typically go along this way.
So you're saying you probably don't set your seat?
No. I come off,
Yeah.
this is actually becomes 365. This map doesn't have the
Okay.
detail.
Now we got the tour.
And camping here, and go through Tacoma, cross into it,
Okay.
and then connect. Actually, this needs to have like some detail to it because I think I take another road. But anyway, I connect with 11, take 11 to 178. Oh, no, take 11 to 276. To Brevard. On the other hand, if I was going right to Shining Rock,
Yes, sir.
Shining Rock is right here. I'd take the 178 route. Shining Rock.
Okay, so you're familiar with
And this will be, if you want to go to the Fish-Dog Ranger District and hike the trails there. Asheville's right over there.
Okay, let me ask you this, and you, right here, this 178.
Yeah.
It's 178,
Uh-huh.
yes, it's 178. It goes up into what's called Rosman, Brevard area.
Yeah.
Right here. Okay, if you go over to what we call 276, you'll go by what's called Cedars Head State Park.
Yeah.
That's the way.
I don't know the park though.
Okay.
I don't even remember.
Now, right here, at the intersection of 178 and Highway 11, just 5 miles past it, it's called Tabor State.
I'll be darned.
Now, have you ever?
No, I can tell you it not only do, it's not a matter of minutes. I've never been there. I've never been there. Never been there. I would always be in transit, and the way I walk the dog when I'm in transit like that, unless I see a convenient municipal park, is I think I have a shopping center that's on a corner, that's a quarter-mile long, the strip shopping center, and you walk behind it. I've always said, hey, if you're going to be a burglar, get a dog. Police car comes prowling around the back of a shopping center, and you're out there alone in the back. Well, if you got a dog, you don't think twice. I have spent more time behind shopping centers. And you do the whole perimeter. You do all the way around behind, and then around to the main drag, because they're on the corner. And then around through that. You can do it with
I'll tell you
miles.
one more time. This is a young man in color,
Yeah.
and this is a young man in
No, he has such a face that I've seen him. I've never seen him, but he's got such a generic, yuppie color.
He went hiking that day.
Yeah, sir, I have to sneak in. You're used to dealing with people that are the most devious individuals in the world. And I'm gonna tell you, if I won't tell you something, I'll tell you I won't tell you. But I'm not gonna lie. You ask me about something about some crimes that haven't been adjudicated, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I won't answer. I'll tell you I won't answer. But listen, I'm not going to deceive you and misdirect you on...
Oh, yeah, let me tell you that I'm here on behalf, I'm not here for any type of charge.
Oh, I know that.
I'm here
And that's another reason I understand what you're going through, because you're like Cagle has said, you're not getting all emotional about it, but you are. You are connected with these families. You know, Senior GBI Agent John Tabor got all connected with Emerson's, my victim's family, and he got, you're going through the same thing.
Well, this boy's family, they're from Pennsylvania, and to be honest with you, once a year, every year, Easter, she is here to place flowers, and she has the unknown, and that bothers her.
And it bothers you, and I understand that. I understand why that's one of the reasons you're here, is that it bothers you. They all bother you in a lot of ways, and especially it gnaws at you. Just like Cable says, it gnaws at you. And
the words are right.
And I know that you came here hoping that there's some way, even in line, that I'll tell you something.
No, sir, I don't want you to lie to me.
No, even if you could detect that I was lying, at least you would know that. But I'm going to tell you.
I want this, if you put your tags on, you can read or whatever. And this is what I'm seeing here. After 10 years of waiting for news about her son disappearing, Deborah says she does not get her hopes up every time she hears of the possibility in the case. And it's our job to...
Ms. Booker, this is Gary Hilton speaking. Gary Michael Hilton. And the detectives are here. Dewey and Dan are here about your son. I'm sure you've been hearing all of this, but I want to speak to you directly. And I want to assure you, number one, I'm sorry for your loss. And I've seen victims' families crying in court, my victims' families crying in court. I know what you're missing. I know what you would be missing if you knew your son was gone. And so I know what you're going through not knowing what happened to him or where he is. And I want to assure you, ma'am, that if I knew anything about your son, I would refuse to answer. I want to assure you that there is absolutely no light that I can shed on the matter of your son. And I say that realizing that it certainly fits in with the modus operandi that I'm assumed to have used in several crimes that I'm suspected of. But it is, in this case, coincidence. And ma'am, you always got to leave room for coincidence. And that's what it is in this case. And so I'm sorry that I can't bring you any closure ultimately, but I am glad, and I hope you believe me, that this is one avenue that you can close and go on to any further avenues you may have in the future. The officers are here just out of concern for you and the victim, and I can assure you that they're getting the true story, and that I'm more than happy to cooperate. I hope you'll let them know that.
I'll certainly do that.
Play that for me.
Well, I will, and I feel like that helps me hard, and I certainly hope and pray that it does get me.
It does. It does.
Oh, well, as I tell you before, Jason's not here to speak, or he can't tell us where he's at, but somebody can, and somebody will someday. And
yes.
We watch and we see things like happening in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, and we're in that little triangle.
And I'm sure this lady, to this day, will see a man walking down the street 100 yards from her and think, is that Jason? She doesn't know, so therefore her mind just runs through every kind of possibility, including that he's still alive, that he has amnesia, that whatever. And I'm sure to this day she'll see some man with his build, and like I say, I apologize for calling him a generic yuppie, okay? A college, okay? And but I'm sure that she'll see someone, and perhaps even start going towards him and following them. She may even catch a glimpse of a head in a car going past her in traffic and turn around and follow it. I understand that, and I'm going to assure you, I'm going to tell you, and I'll be glad. I understand. It's your job to keep going, and I'll be glad to tell you as many times as you want, but you can close this avenue of approach. You really could. And just like with Florida, I have never admitted anything to Florida, but I've told Florida if they'll they'll give me a deal. I'll give them full, complete cooperation with anything I can. I'd more than likely say the same thing to you. If I would say, well, I can't talk about it, but I've got to buy, can't give me another day longer. If you want to give me immunity, I'll be glad to clear it up and be happy to do so.
If you had anything to do with it whatsoever, I'd appreciate it if you told me and you would tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And anything to do with any charges or anything here,
Yeah.
it's out of my control. I'll tell you that. I've got a grieving family. And
Well, let me go a little further. I'm trying to be, walk a fine line here.
I understand.
But I'm suspected of 2 murders in North Carolina and 1 in Florida. So let me go a little further and tell you, there's nothing, no more, nothing else outside of the... I'm not telling you that I did drugs, but what I am telling you is, I'm not telling you that I didn't do it. Okay? I'm not saying I didn't do it, but what I'm saying is, whether I did or didn't, there's nothing outside of those 3 murders.
And I'm...
Nothing. You're not here to bust my chops.
I understand you're protecting 7.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but if I didn't want to help you, I wouldn't have talked to you at all. I would have done the typical criminals routine. Hey, I was a paratrooper. I got the POW training, name, record, service number, Don't answer. If they ask you, what, are you left-handed or right-handed? What high school did you go to? Don't answer it. Because one question leads to another. Believe me, I was stonewalled you dead totally. I was going to resist it.
Let me ask you a question a while ago, but I don't know when the order was on the dot about. I think I was writing something. You said there was nothing else. 2007 or something. Or is that what you said?
About what?
There was nothing prior.
Oh, no, 1995. Now, okay, here's the thing. I did a local...
Yeah, I got that right.
Yeah, you got it, but I'll tell you, in a nutshell, between 73 and 2004, I did unlawful charities, fraudulent telephone solicitation. I was a minor con man. That's all cleared up. I pled to that. They gave me 5 years. They gave me a no-time deal. I was glad to have it. I had a grand jury indictment, 23 counts, 19 victims. 25 grand bond. I got a no-time deal. I was glad to get it. I had a theft charge resulting from an employment situation. I took, they gave me material to sell fixed materials. I pled that and got a concurrent 5-year probation, restitution in both cases, of course. I was delighted to get it. I had a dog, golden retriever, that's about 6 years old, that no one ever loved their child any more than I love this dog. Huh? Yeah, okay. Nobody ever loved their child more than I love this dog. And I knew that if I didn't want to be taken away from that dog, just like your child, you wouldn't do anything that would endanger your child's future by endangering your future. You're determined to keep yourself out of institutional life. Okay. So I knew I had 5 years of probation to do, and I knew I was going to have to do it, or they just yanked me right out. And for several other reasons. I don't want to go straight. I really did. Okay? I went crazy in September, but that's another story. But anyway, I had 5 years to do, did it all, got off probation in 2000, and continue to go on and live a clean life. And September, I can tell you the reasons immediately leading up to it. In September, I slipped into insane behavior. And the reasons are, I have a natural sociopathic character, and that I always have ever since I can remember. I didn't belong, I didn't fit in, I had a sense of melancholy. I had a high level of what's called existential anxiety. That's knowing you're going to die someday. It's what drives us all. Knowing that we're going to die someday drives you to fill your life with something to give it meaning, just to escape the knowledge that you're going to die. So therefore, you're running as hard as you can from that knowledge. We all do it. We all do it. We find that escape in our jobs, our family, and our church, in a nutshell. Okay? So, I had that. I received savage training as a paratrooper, where you're taught to this kind of training that paratroopers, that means you can fire into buildings, kill women and children, and call it suppressing enemy fire. In Iraq today, we'll destroy entire families that are driving towards soldiers that won't stop. We call it threat elimination. It's just you're trained to dissociate the act of killing from the moral constraints that you can open the door. It's getting hard. What's that? Hey, we're gonna open the door. Good open the door. You talk to dissociate the act of killing from the moral constraints society imposed on you. I had those two things. They were always there. They were waiting for a trigger. And the triggers were twofold. Threefold, really. One, and it's probably the most important.
Okay. Give a little background.
Sure. One, probably most important, I had multiple sclerosis, it turned out. I've had it for 17 years in mild form, and it went into a severe form, called secondary progressive. I look good now, and I act good now, because I lay on my back 20 hours a day. It's about a cure me, but having the question out. Anyway, multiple sclerosis attacks your brain, spinal cord, nervous system, any nerve in the body. It can cause lesions on the brain. It's right here in front of me. Put it right here in front of me. It can cause lesions on the brain. And even though it's got 6 major symptoms listed, I've encountered about 40 symptoms. They're bizarre, they're in all shapes and forms, they're in all shades and degrees. I won't get into it, but except to say that just 20 years ago, the average lifespan after first onset of multiple sclerosis was 25 years. In the last 20 years, it's been raised 10 to 15 more years to 35 to 40. But what I'm trying to make is there's no way in which multiple sclerosis kills you. There's no way it kills you. It doesn't paralyze your breathing. It's not a tumor. It doesn't kill you, but yet it shortens your lifespan. And you know why it shortens your lifespan? Because of suicide. Because of suicide. That's why. Yeah, in other words, it makes you feel so, it don't kill you, but it makes you feel so bad that you wish you were dead. And it's because of suicide. There's a definite shortened lifespan, and it was just 25 years, just 20 years ago. They raised it 10 to 15 years, I believe, for one major reason, the new class of antidepressants that have come out, like Effexor and Wellbutrin, that work on the serotonin levels and the brain chemistry. I'm being given those now, and I've been on them for 2 years. They work wonders. They work wonders. That's why multiple sclerosis is so debilitating, because it produces depression as a symptom rather than an effect of the disease. In other words, you're not depressed because you're sick, you're depressed because you're sick. In other words, you know, it's not like, oh, I'm sick and now so I feel bad. It's like I'm sick and I feel it. It's a symptom, just like pain. And that's why people become so bedridden in multiple sclerosis, because of depression, the weird symptoms that can be strong or not. Or
You're looking wrong now.
I've been laying on my back for 4 months, and that's what I needed to do, but I couldn't do it on the outside. You see, the dog kept me hiking. In other words, I was taking high doses of Ritalin, 80 milligrams a day, very high dose. And that would give me 3 or 4 good hours a day of activity. And I could either use that to run my dog or to work. And I just, in the end, chose to run my dog. What good is working if you can't run your dog anywhere? So that brings us into this. So I was a goner. I was getting to the point where, and plus multiple sclerosis deranges your mind. It deranges your thinking. You can't choose the right word. You can't walk from one room into the other and remember what you went in there for. If you can imagine doing that over and over and over throughout the day, of going from one room to the other and not remembering what you were in there for, so that you stand there for a while and you look around hoping that it'll come to you. Why did I come in here? If you can imagine that going over and over, you get to the point where you want to carry a pad in your hand, and if you got to go get some scissors from the other room, you write scissors. It's insane. The way you can't remember, you can put something down. 2 minutes later, you can't remember where it was. So you say, well, the way to do that is to have a place for everything and everything in its place. But it never fails. You have the scissors in your hand and the phone will ring. You're just on your way to the phone. You lay the scissors down. You talk on the phone for a minute. And then you're looking for 20 minutes, literally, for the scissors. And the scissors are right there, hiding in plain sight behind a box of Kleenex. Your whole day is filled with this. So I was just becoming disordered. I was physically debilitated again. I lay flat on my back for at least 20 hours a day, and I'm happy to do it, okay? And so...
Now, what did you say your first symptoms came on?
My first symptoms were in 1984, but I had a type called relapsing remitting, which is 1 or 2 attacks every 1 to 3 years. Typically, the attacks last for weeks or months, but in my case, they only lasted for a week. So about once or so a year, I got knocked flat down, wham, unmistakable set of wham, laid right out for a week. I thought it was chronic mononucleosis of some kind, recurring mononucleosis, because that was the symptoms. Well, I thought it was chronic fatigue syndrome.
Did you ever, after one of your attacks, did you ever, somebody come say you did a crime, you did something?
Oh no, I was conscious. I would sleep 27 hours straight. Oh, other investigators had covered that too. I have never slept walk or been in that kind of thing, of leaving and coming back. Never.
So we got up your...
Okay, but anyway, in 2001, I entered a stage called secondary progressive. Now, when people come down with MS, 85% of them start out with relapsing remitting. Of those 85%, about 50% go on to something called secondary progressive. Secondary progressive, bad news. It's continuous deterioration, marked in some cases by periods of remission, okay? Well, I was very lucky. I had some very significant periods of remission. But I finally sought medical help, got a diagnosis, and started a very effective treatment program consisting of injections and daily injections, antidepressants, Ritalin, okay? But the doc started me off on 20 milligrams of Ritalin a day. I'm a drug abuser, and it's well known in Ritalin, not a drug abuser, I'm a pothead. And I've abused drugs. And anyway, and the warnings are in Ritalin that people that have abused drugs are likely to unnecessarily increase their dosage, which is exactly what I did. I kept high up, 10 milligrams a day. I got up to 80 milligrams. That's a very high dose. Now I was getting very aggressive, very just, coming right at you. You know what I mean? Not mean, but just tell it like the fuck it is. Shut the fuck up. That kind of thing. Okay, so the triggers are all there. My mind's disordered. I'm sociopathic. I've been taught to be a stone cold killer. Hey, paratroopers are bad motherfuckers, man. They kill you stone cold. I mean, we had companies that nicknames would be Cold Steel Cobra, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? We had a bunch of sociopaths back in the 60s. We loved it. We called it airborne class. Our idea of a good joke, you'd be sitting around watching TV with a bunch of straight people and the news would be on and someone would come on saying, oh, and I lost my daughter and she was killed and everything. And you go, ha, 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 ha. Oh, we thought that kind of shit was funny as hell. Just sociopathic behavior. We loved it, okay? Anyway. So I had those the things in place, and here comes the triggers. The MS, deranging my mind, making me hopeless. Can't make any more money. I'm really going up against it. I'm ready to commit suicide. I was determined that if finally I couldn't make a living rather than trying to go on some kind of welfare that I wouldn't be happy with, I'd kill myself. And I told people that over and over. And I guess the reason I didn't is because of my dog. In order to kill myself, I would have had to kill him first or go give him away to somebody. And either one, I couldn't bring. At any given day, I couldn't get up and kill that dog or go give him to somebody and walk away from it. I couldn't do it. So that just kept me alive. And then the final thing, I found out John Tabor, the guy I worked for 10 years, I trusted the man so much that I did some very stupid things, and that is I didn't take care of my money. And I found that actually the man, this is not any paranoid delusions, this was true, I found out he'd been stealing approximately half of my pay for 10 years. Yeah, a total of over 150 grand. The guy never gave me one single delayed go-back sale, even though in his sales I would see that, leads he got for himself in Iran, I would see that fully 50% of his sales were go-back. They weren't one-call closes. You know what I mean? And one might say, well, Gary, it took you 10 years to realize that you hadn't been paid on one single go-back? Damn, what kind of dumb shit are you? Well, all I can say is, sometimes we make some bad choices in people we trust. We all do. They pick a wrong wife or the wrong husband. That happens a lot, don't it? Yeah, that husband telling them, oh, honey, I love you and I'm working late. She hired a private detective and he's out there screwing some woman, coming home to her every night for 10 years after he's been with some other woman, and, breaking his vows and just lying like a psychopath.
You go back, you went ahead in 2001, but in 1998, you really didn't have this 2000.
No. I was secondary. I was relapsing remitting and.
You knew what you were doing in 98.
Oh yeah. I was a stud. I was almost at the height of my powers. Actually, I really reached the apogee in about 94, 95, 96. But I could hike and so forth and get around and work as well or better as I'd ever been able to do. So I was well with it. I can assure you, officer, let me tell you, even though I can't give you an alibi where people, because I was living in my truck, literally, okay? I was sleeping in an office park where I worked a lot of nights. I just barely missed that tornado. I was just barely missed being outside. I was up at Powers Ferry and Moody Hill Road, and that's where the track of that tornado first touched down and went across Dunwoody and tore the living hell out of that place. And I would have been right in the woods if I hadn't at the last moment decided to go somewhere else. So that's why I remember that.
Well, you've had no problems talking around North Carolina. That which is your business, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and I'm from South Carolina. But I know one day you're going to you're just going to lift a big burden off your heart, and you're going to let everybody know what's right.
Oh, I wish I could now, but not if they won't kill me. No, the Florida's trying to extradite me to kill me right now.
Yeah,
I've already offered to lift it all.
Right, well, in the same sense, if you had anything to do with anything on that kid in 1998, you would tell me, right? And you.
I would tell you that I'm not going to tell you and ask for a deal. I would tell you I can't talk about it, but if you'll give me immunity, I'll tell you everything I can tell you. I told Florida that.
But you've never told me that about the kid, though. But you're saying you don't know anything about it.
Except that I've seen it in the paper over and over and over again. What I know about it is that he went hiking there, and they found his car, and it's a dead end after that. And I thought, damn, that doesn't sound like me, that's
really,
you know what I mean? In Florida, if they if it hadn't been hunting season, and a hunter hadn't found her body, then it might have decayed to the point where it would have never been found. Okay. If I hadn't given him the girl's body here in Georgia, I gave him that body. If I hadn't given them that body, it would have been the same, and I hadn't been seen with her. It's just a change. In other words, if I had carried out the crime the way I planned it, if I had executed it the way I planned it, and it had gone right, it would have been the same thing. They would have found her car in the parking lot of Blood Mountain, and she would have vanished. Her dog would have been gone too.
Let me ask you a question. Let's just say for 1 second, 1 minute. Now, what I'm telling you right now is that more or less are not exactly a lie, but there's no truth to it whatsoever, that if I were able to tell you right now, at this very moment, that if you knew something about the missing child that's missing from Clemson University, and I would tell you that you're not getting the death penalty, you're not
Yeah.
getting no more time.
Here's the answer to that.
Your answer.
Here would be the answer. I would say, I'll be glad to help you. Let's get an attorney in here and make it real. It won't be real unless an attorney's here to witness it. Let's get an attorney here and make it real. I'll go for it. In other words, you know, I'm not in an interrogation. It's, someone gives me a deal. It was not real unless I have representation. And I would tell, you know what I'm talking about. You know what you know, and I understand that police officers are permitted to lie in an interrogation. They are permitted to tell you anything. Yeah, I mean, I understand it. That is why I would say, let's get an attorney here and make it real.
Let me ask.
I would tell you, yes, it's a deal. I'll shake on it. I promise you. I'll go for it. If you could tell me right now, immunity or life sentence for spilling on this, I'd say, yeah. Why not? Why not? You know?
After the plea that you made to the mama, and the truth was told you, you told her, would there be a reason for me to go find you a lawyer and come back?
No, that's the sad part of it. That's the sad part of it. And I feel bad. Because I understand that this is, until this moment, I hope, and it's no longer a hope, until this moment, this is all, this what has been, me, has been a hope that you have and she has that I could clear this up. That in your mind, if there's been an unresolved avenue, and what? Oh, in your mind, there's been an unresolved, there's a hope that if you could get to me and talk to me, I would either indicate that I could help you, or you could tell that I was lying and therefore dissembling over something, concealing something, which in itself, a lie will tell you something as much as the truth will. And so I know this has been a hope for you and the family.
Well, I don't want you to get in the court where you tell me something I wanted to hear.
Oh!
I think you're...
I'm not playing with you. I'm playing with you in that, hey, I'm glad for the company. Listen, I'm sitting at a 6x8, 24/7, laying on my back. It's no problem. I watch TV. I got my own TV. I read. I got my meals cooked, served to me. The dishes are washed. My laundry's done. Hey, I love it. And that's why I say, I already got life. If you could give me a plea on this, you know, I'd be happy. What I'm dreading, the big thing in my life, is Florida's trying to take me and kill me. You see, if they just leave me alone and let me stay here, they could have it the easy way. They could save themselves $2 million. They could get the full story right now. They could save the family a lot of agony and grief of sitting in this trial and so forth. And they'd also, because they're never going to get the story out of me if they try me. I'll go to my death just because I told Florida, I'll give you everything if you'll do it the easy way, but if you won't, I'll fight you all the way. I'm fighting my extradition right now. I know I'll be extradited, of course. I'm the person they're seeking. They got a warrant. I know I'll go. But like I told the warden here, excuse me, if I can delay this 3 days, that's potentially 3 days longer I ever live. So
you're wanting to get your heart right with everything that you've done.
I just as soon do it. I just as soon do it. On the one hand, I have a societal view, and you know, there's a lot of tragedy in this world. We got 35,000 people killed in car wrecks every year. This is just one more death. Hey, no big thing. But on the other hand, I've got remorse for what I did. In a strange way. You know I have a flat affect, and I'm not going like that. But you know, it disturbed, let me put it this way, it disturbed me when I did it, and it disturbs me now. And I know what grief is, and it's strange to say I never loved anything but a dog. When my dog Ranger died in 2001, it killed me. It did kill me. It killed me.
Anybody ever hurt your dog?
No. I mean, that's why I'm always fighting.
What kind was it?
Golden Retrievers. I always run Golden Retrievers. I had him for 11. I had my current dog till I'm 5. The great blessing or benefit out of this case is that I found a wonderful home for my dog. And this particular dog was not a typical Golden in that he was never eager to please me. He never particularly liked me. He had a lot of dominance, aggression. He always wanted to be the boss. He was 5 years old. He was 5 years old. It took me years to get that dog right. I'm telling you, he was like Cool Hand Luke in that movie. Cool Hand Luke. Cool Hand kept running, and you know, they'd say, Luke, you better get your mind right. The man with no eye says you run again, he's going to kill you. They had him digging 6x6s. They had him in the sweater, everything else. That dog wouldn't get his mind. Anyway, the point is that an investigator, a woman for the Dawson Public Defender's Office, had a real need in her heart for a dog. She had lost a dog after 7 years, so torn up, had to take 2 days off from work, et cetera, et cetera. And to make a long story short, that dog sleeps with her, and that dog wouldn't sleep in the same room with me. Okay, that dog will spoon. She says, he spoons up next to me, and I said, damn, my mind's at rest over that.
Here, let me say this to you. I'm here because the person's been missing for 10 years. I told you that.
Yeah.
I told you I'm here because of a grieving family. We've been grieving for 10 years. And I hope to the good Lord someday that you come to peace with all the officers and all the courts and everything else, and so that you really don't leave those other people's family grieving for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I really...
That's up to them, though. That's up to them. But that's up to them, because if they're going to try to kill me, of course, I ain't going to give up nothing. What would you do if someone you already got lied, and now they want to kill you? What would you do? You'd be pissed off. You'd fight everything. Everything was going to be a big deal. Starting from extradition to whether I got enough blankets in jail. I'm going to fucking raise hell. Total hell. I told my jury, my Florida lawyers, I won't be happy unless it takes 3 to 4 years to go to trial, unless we have a 1,000-person jury pool, unless we have at least 2 changes of venue. And that's just to begin with, okay? Brian Nichols up in Atlanta has spent $1.5 million defense, $2.5 million prosecution, $4 million. They haven't even picked a jury yet. I won't be happy unless I do that to them. And I am. And if what they want, and if they want, I'm going to get out of bed. I got multiple sclerosis. If I say I can't get out of bed, I can't get out of bed, man. I'm going to play total hell. You know why? Because I got life already. I've offered to do it the easy way, to give not only the family the closure that they could never otherwise get, and to make it easy for the state and easy for me. I've offered that. And if they want to just say, we're going to, excuse me, and if they want to say, well, we're going to do it the hard way, yeah, so if they say, well, we're going to do it the hard way, we're going to spend $4 million and 15 years to kill you, okay, and not have this cleared up and never know what happened. They may, in Florida, they may be missing body parts. They may have recovered body parts. They could be missing. She was decapitated, that's well known. Well, they may be missing her head. And if they were missing their head, and if I did it, I could give them that head. And I'd be happy to do it. But if they don't want to get her head, etc., and they want to kill me instead, and spend $4 million, etc., bring it on. I'm 61 years old. I got 17 years of life expectancy. Bring it the fuck on. If you want to get me into the execution chamber when I'm almost 80 years old, if I live that long, hey, knock your fucking self out. You got a fight on your hands.
How do you know they want to put you to death?
I actually don't know that, but here's my reasoning. I've offered the Leon County detectives a deal. Now, I know they're not willing to make the state attorney, but I told them, and assuming that they'd at least take it back to them, I got live. They can't give me another day. All right? So what does that leave? What does it leave? Why are they extraditing me when I said right now, you don't even have to bother with that. I want to stay in Georgia. I like these people here. I do. I like Georgia prison system. You know why? Because within the concept of penal institutions, they understand that if a person is reasonably happy and not dissatisfied, he's less likely to assault guards.
Well, you know,
It's just a matter of safety.
you have to get a little bit on that. You want to have to go to prison until the last thing that you've done in your life that you need to be punished for. You got to go to other prisons and
I do.
come back.
Why couldn't they just come up here and take
But
it?
now you're a smart man. You know that they
No, I don't know that. No,
You know Florida can't come up here and try you for a case.
not try me. Come up
You
here.
can't take a plea here. You have to go to Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes me feel bad.
Well, who knows? You might walk in there and the judge.
Oh, okay. Well, here, that's good.
I didn't know how you got that feeling.
Oh, that's why. That's why. Now, on top of that, although, who's to say, my Florida attorneys were up here 10 days ago. And they said that at this time, Leon County says they won't take a plea at this time. However, that's a minor thing, maybe just a strategic maneuvering. But no, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought that they could come up here with this, attorneys make it real, wave, sign. Oh, that's good news.
No, sir.
That's good news for me to even think that there's a glimmer of hope that I could go down there and cooperate with them and then either go in their prison system or more ideally come back here.
Go back to where you got a call with marijuana, simple possession of marijuana, or whatever it was you were called with. You couldn't go to South Carolina and plead on that case.
Come to think of it, in '95, when I got the 2 concurrent terms of probation, I had to clear up Cobb County, and then I had to go to the Capt County and go in that jail.
There you go.
Come to think of it, you know, that's good. I'm glad. Now, see, you helped me. You helped me. Because I couldn't be. Here's the thing. I haven't been able to figure. I know the state don't make sense. This don't make sense. I know states don't do things the easy way. I know the state attorney general is a political position and so forth. And when politics comes in, common sense goes out the window. I knew all that, but I could not figure out for the fucking life of me why in the hell they're going to pick themselves out such a hard road to hoe for probably nothing, because I'm going to die where they can get me. I know Florida's faster than Georgia, but nevertheless, if it takes them 15 years, I got at least 80% chance of dying in that time. I got a life expectancy of 17.1 years right now, okay? And I could not figure out why in the hell are they that boneheaded? Are they that vicious? Are they that fucking savage?
Harry,
You know?
remember now, I told you, you said you understood your rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something else.
What?
You just figured it out yourself, but you're a ward of the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
If you go to Florida, you still a ward of the state of Georgia. You figure that out. You belong to the state of Georgia. This is a place where you got life in prison.
You know, another inmate was telling me that if I got live here, and another inmate was saying more or less the same thing. He's been in a million prisons. His name is Michael Lang, and he's been in a million.
You have to do your time here, then he'll send you.
That's what he said. He said, well, listen, if you go down to Florida and plead to life, you'll have to come back to Georgia and do your sentence of life here, and then after you die here, in effect, you'd have to go back and do the life there. That's what he told me, and that does make sense in a sense. That's good news. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys again, and I understand you can't hear it enough from me. You can't. You know why? Because you're used to dealing with sorry motherfuckers. I ain't no convict. I've been 6 months in jails, but I've never been in prison. I'm so damn sociopathic that I can't even get along with criminals. I can't get along with straight people. I'm a cut above criminals, and I can't fit in with straight people. They ain't my kind of people. These damn jailbirds aren't my kind of people. Reason I'm so happy now, I'm in protective custody. I don't have to be around anyone. That's the way I like it, okay? I don't have to sleep with these guys. They can't get to me, etc. So what I'm trying to say is I know you're used to dealing with guys that get off on spinning your wheels and just why for the fucking hell of it. Listen, I'm not about that. I am a man of my word. Your word is all a man has. It really is. And so within the context of me saying to you right now that I'm telling you the truth, I like you, you should be in movies, you're a good guy. I know you're cops, but I can see that you're good cops and that you're not pissing me off. And detectives are not supposed to piss people off, and you are really good at what you do. And I appreciate that. I like a pro. And I'm going to tell you again, and I'll tell you as many times as necessary, because I understand how, I can see that this is still, you're not letting it go. You're still chewing on it like a dog on a bone. You're not letting it go, but you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, man. You're at it on this one right here. No, with you. Oh, with me. You're not letting, you're still just,
I wrote my name, man.
I know. You're still.
I did something.
You're still, because it's instinct by now, by this point in your career, it's just instinct. You're like a dog, man. You just won't give up. But with me, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. I'm gonna tell you, let it go. Forget about it. Sleep easy tonight, knowing,
go in another direction.
Sleep easy tonight, and knowing that you probably have the best lead you have solved, got to the bottom of the best lead in this case that you probably have gotten. I am probably, if not the only lead, by far the best lead. I know when you saw me, you said, that's the guy. That's the guy. This is him. This is him. And not only that, I understand another thing. I'm too old to be a serial killer just started killing. That's what's flipping the FBI and everyone else out. The damn FBI behavioral specialist dying to get at me. I've read the articles, retired FBI footballer Cliff Van Zandt saying, hey, this guy didn't just fall off the turnip truck. He's been doing this. He's too old. I'm too old to be a serial killer just starting out. I break the mold completely. Nothing like this has ever happened almost before, except that couple in the 80s out west that was killing migrant laborers. It doesn't happen that way. By the time they're 61, serial killers are either burned out, suicided out, or incarcerated. They just don't start killing people when they're 61. Well, son, I did. And I told you why. Because there was a sociopathic character that had always been there, because I've been savagely trained as a paratrooper just to kill without thinking and remorse. It's just a separate thing from society. And triggered by the fact that I was being debilitated, deranged by multiple sclerosis, and a sense of victimization. There's your classic serial killer sense of victimization, because I found that I've been wronged by society and by my employer, and in the end, in desperation and knowing I couldn't make a living, that I was going to either kill myself or something, I said, I'm going down hard. And you see, and I was able to do it. I was able to kill someone, beat them to death. Let me tell you something. It's hard to beat someone to death. No. What I don't mean it's hard emotionally. It's hard physically. You think you take an iron bar this long, it's a solid iron bar, and hit someone one time and your skull will cave in or something like that. It don't happen that way. That fucking thing bounced right the fuck off. It's just like you hit a block of cement that's got a rubber covering over it. That's what it feels like. There's no smashing. It don't smash like an eggshell. They don't go unconscious. They start screaming. Man, you got to beat them and beat them and beat them and beat them and beat them. And finally you got to get their skull so fractured up that then it starts to smash. You get blood splattering up in your face. You get a mist of blood splattering into your eyes. It just puts a red film over everything. It's fucking tough as hell, okay? And I was able to do it because of the training I had received as a paratrooper. You throw that hand grenade and you come out, I was certified as a bayonet expert. the first time you ever go to a bayonet, I mean, orders were cut. First time you go to a bayonet range, the instructor will say, gentlemen, on the battlefield there are two kinds of bayonet fighters. The good ones and the dead one. And then he'll say, what's the spirit of the bayonet? And you go, tough kill, okay? Listen, I went through years of this shit. And so when you're killing like that, when you have that kind of training, it's horrifying, it's disgusting, it's stomach-turning, but you just put yourself on autopilot. It's got to be done, okay? I don't even know where I heard it on this. Tell you the truth, I'm just saying that, whatever. You can cross it. You can go home and sleep. You'll be both sad and you're happy. You're going to be sad in that now you're back to nothing.
But we worked hard to prove you didn't do it.
I know, because you want the truth rather than any other thing. You're not there to check off, well, there's another one done, okay? So I understand. You're back to nothing now. You're back to just nothing, just like they were up in North Carolina. FBI came and Transylvania County Sheriff came and talked to me from North Carolina, and they said, we just had nothing. We had nothing. We were just, nothing. And then this came to light, and that woman, Emerson, my victim, she gave us that opportunity. And she did. She called me, okay? They know that I did it up in North Carolina. They know that I did it in Florida, okay? Okay, it's already cleared up in their mind regardless of what happens, okay? And you had nothing, but that's the bad part. But it's good and bad. You got nothing. You got nothing still.
When you say that you know about North Carolina, I kept up with that because whenever I first heard that she was missing, and within a week or so later, I saw you, and then you could see all my notes went right straight back to the day that you were arrested, to the day she was missing. But my heart went out to the family in North Carolina. There was one boy, I think, and he came all the way from Texas when everybody kind of was just stopped the search. And he went, and that boy was real strong by his parents. I don't know the man. I didn't
never met him.
Parents. I don't know anybody.
I know where I was headed.
I know how they feel because I've been working with this lady.
Okay, let me conclude the point I was trying to make when I lost my thread of thought when I got into that thing of killing people. I mean, just to finish that thought, the GBI asked me, what does it feel to cut someone's head off? And I told him it's just surreal. It's like it wasn't real. And that's the way it is. I'm a human. Believe it or not, I'm more sensitive than you. You're a tough individual. I can tell that. You are tough. You're tougher than I am. And so in order to cut someone's head off, you have to go back to your military training and just do it. Just fucking don't think about it, do it. But here's the point I was trying to make, and it's probably the most important thing that's gnawing on you in the end, and that is, I'm too old to be a serial killer. I'm too old just to start killing people. It don't happen, but this is the point I'm making. It happens. I told you one. I told you sociopathic character, savage training as a paratrooper. Then now, multiple sclerosis has got no hopes, dreams, plans, or schemes. No way I can work my way out of it. No, nothing. I'm going to go down, right? And then my damn one person I trusted in the world been stealing from me and lying to me just like a bad spouse for 10 years. You know how that bad spouse, oh, honey, I love you. Oh, honey, that kind of shit. He's over there fucking some other body else. He's got cum smeared all over him and everything else when he comes home at night. Oh, honey, I love you. And the hurt and so the sociopathic character, the savage training were triggered by the multiple sclerosis getting real bad. And then my 25th year, my seventh year of secondary progressive, getting really bad. Depression, really bad pain, every kind of weird symptom in the world, and then finding out this son of a bitch had looked at me and said, yeah, we're on the same team, and had been stealing my shit. I said, okay, this is the fucking end. I'm going to go down hard. And in retrospect, I had the greatest regret that I didn't start robbing banks instead. I mean, instead of choosing to kill people. for a few stinking $100. That's stupid. And I don't even enjoy killing that much. It was just a sociopathic rage against society in general, that I was able to kill a human being and not view them as an individual, but view it in a societal context, and that, like I talked about that boy, I said, he's just another one of those grinning idiots in college. He's an individual, he's a beloved son, he's talented, he's a great guy. I viewed him in a societal context, yeah, another grinning fucking idiot with this loose dog running around out of control, and not able to figure out for the life of him why in the world I should object of him letting his big dog pile on my dog. Dumb shit. He's a fucking idiot, you know. It's a societal context. It's, you know.
Let me ask you something. You keep going back to the military, and I saw you in the military, but I got to ask you, what do you do your military training?
Oh, the training? Okay. I was at Fort Gordon for basic and infantry training.
I heard all that info, that's what I said.
Yeah, there was the basic training, and then there was your AIT, which was infantry. Then I went to good old Benton, 1964, jump school, July. Jump school in July. Oh my God. When the temperature got up to 96 degrees, they'd run a red flag up the flagpole and we wouldn't have to run everywhere. Okay, that was the break you got. Okay.
Well, Gary, I'm going to go back and I'll have a line.
I want you to go back and tonight I want you to feel good.
Yeah.
And bad.
Leo, no, I get it for you.
I want you to feel good and to feel bad. You have just shot down.
I hope and pray that you get your life straightened out and bring closure to all the families of everybody you're involved in. I think
you'll be following this, and you're going to hear, trust me, you're going to hear that I want it to happen. I want to give it to her. But I'm not going to let them kill me for the privilege of doing it.
Okay.
Because me,
you just remember the things that we told you.
And I want you to remember again, though, for the 10th time, you done closed out your best lead. Your only lead. You done closed it. You can put it out of your mind. That's good news, it's bad news. It's bad news.
We just keep digging, we'll keep searching.
At least you can go on and do something productive.
And if anything,
I swear to God.
if there's any way you can help me with some of your thoughts or whatever, that would be great.
You're still not letting it go.
You know I
still not letting it go.
You know I
Forget about it. It ain't there. Forget it.
All right.
Don't even, you still not letting it go. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Just forget about it. Forget about it. It ain't there. It didn't happen. I promise you. I swear I'm promising you.
I believe.
I'm looking in your eye, and I understand if it ever came out that I did, I'd be sorry, son of a... Listen, it ain't there. It's not there.
You're free to talk in a circle about it, but you never put my person in a circle, and so I believe you.
No way. I've already told you what I did. You know what I did. I've told you in as many words exactly what I did. Okay. And that's all I did.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
and the thing is, I didn't start killing the last 61, and that's the way it is. It's not supposed to happen that way, but it did. And now you know the reason why.
Okay. One final thing. As we leave, this is a big man right here. We never bothered you, hurt you, or promised you anything.
Absolutely not. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I've been more than happy.
And if there is any more questions, I'll be able to ask them.
And again, to the family, you can put this out of your mind totally. These officers have done their job. They are above the rest. That's probably the warden or something. These officers have come down, and you can rest assured, the family of the victim, that this case is in the best hands of the two guys that it could ever be. It's just, this particular avenue is done. It's done. It's over with.
All right, Mr. Hilton, I appreciate it.
Okay, it's done.
Thank you. This concludes the interview.
All right.